Hey, what's happening, Disney Readers? I'm Guy01, and welcome to this week's first episode on the Walkthrough channel. This week, it's Sami Zayn against Kevin Nash. It is our weekly birthday versus. We had 3 birthdays this past week, starting with Kevin Nash, whose birthday was on July 9th. He turned 65. Brock Lesnar's birthday, July 12th, he turned 47. And then same day, July 12th, was Sami Zayn's birthday. He turned 40. The big 4-0. Current Intercontinental Champion. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about this week, including Money in the Bank, Raw, and SmackDown, and really just a lot of stuff to talk about with Money in the Bank and Raw. So beginning with Money in the Bank, Drew McIntyre won the men's Money in the Bank match. Remember how last week I said how I didn't really think Drew would be winning? Even though he was like being portrayed as one of the favorites, I didn't see him as the one to win it because I basically assumed that CM Punk would interfere with the match and, you know, cost him the Money in the Bank briefcase, cost him winning it. Well, I was half right. I was right in CM Punk costing him, just not at the part of the Money in the Bank process that I thought, but we'll get into that later. So just remember that Drew McIntyre did win the Money in the Bank briefcase. Tiffany Stratton won the women's Money in the Bank briefcase. They're really high up on her. I don't know if she was really a favorite going in to this match, but you know, it's also not really surprising given how, you know, obvious WWE's really been trying to push her the past few weeks. And this just proves it, that they're very high up on her. And between the two matches, I feel like the women's match, a lot more people were talking about that one. And part of that might be because of the outcome of the men's and kind of what it ultimately accumulated in and, you know, what the payoff for it was. I think that might be why people are more favorable for the women's, because the payoff didn't get, in some people's mind, squandered. But like I said, we'll get into that later. The Bloodline beat Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens in a 6-man tag. Sami Zayn beat Braun Breaker to retain the Intercontinental Championship. Way to go, Sami. Oh, jeez. Hello. Ah, no, get away from me. My dog's in the room. Ow. Get off me. Oh, no, you don't. And then we had Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, with the stipulation being that if Damian Priest lost the match and the title, he would also have to leave the Judgment Day, and if Seth Rollins lost, he would not be allowed to challenge Damian Priest for the world title ever again. Well, Drew McIntyre came in with the Money in the Bank briefcase and cashed in, turning the match into a triple threat, with Drew McIntyre now involved, which then brought out CM Punk, who attacked Drew McIntyre, which allowed Damian Priest to pin Seth Rollins for the win, retain the title, and make it so that not only can Seth Rollins no longer challenge for the title, but Drew McIntyre has now lost the Money in the Bank briefcase. Which is probably why a lot of people were upset with that outcome. I mean, they had, you know, this huge build-up and potential build-up to, you know, Drew cashing in and, you know, something like that, or Punk costing him to cash in, and then they do it all in one night. Which, you know, for me, I just feel like, you know, why not just have Punk cost him in the Money in the Bank briefcase match? Just don't let him win the briefcase, so that way, you know, the person who does end up winning it can actually hold it and potentially cash in successfully. Now, I mean, the men's Money in the Bank briefcase is already out of the picture. The cash-in's already happened and the guy failed. Now, again, this is just building more and more heat for Drew versus Punk, which is pretty much set for SummerSlam, more or less. It's all but confirmed. Actually, no, I even think it is confirmed. I think it's basically officially done. Oh, no. Okay, guess Scott's not coming out. Oh, no, you don't. Boom. So yeah, that was kind of the big disappointment of this pay-per-view, and but that's not what everyone was talking about. No, what everyone was talking about with this pay-per-view was John Cena appeared and officially announced his retirement. Sort of. Now, John Cena's been playing with the idea of retirement, and he's basically been saying that, you know, the end is coming, and it's going to be probably nearer than people expect. But he officially he came out and officially announced, I mean, this was a legitimate retirement announcement. This wasn't a fake out, this wasn't a tease, this wasn't a, I'm going to keep on going until I can't anymore kind of thing. Like, I'll know when the time's here. No, he gave an actual date. He basically said, I mean, they went all out with this. He had a shirt, a hat, a towel that basically all said that the last time is now. Instead of saying my time is now, it was my last time is now. Oh my god. Yeah, you're not the only one who can do a run-in. Yeah, only difference is my run-in will actually whoop your butt. Let's see who came out. Oh, Jay. No, Jay. You idiot. You weren't supposed to be spotted. Crap. Dang it. Let's try this again. Jay, you ruined it. You're out of the bloodline.
Am I allowed to say I want Sami Zayn to get his butt kicked, or does that make me part of the conspiracy against him? The whole
Hey. Ah.
Sami, but that's just because they fear his intellect.
Oh, no, you don't. Yeah, so he basically came out and, you know, now it's not like a rumor, or now it's not like a, you know, hey, I'm going to be gone soon and I want to make the most of it while I'm still here. You know, we've seen this promo from Cena several times the past few years. This was a legitimate retirement announcement, but it wasn't, he wasn't retiring that night. He basically said that 2025 is the actual year he will retire. And he basically confirmed that the WrestleMania in 2025 will be his last WrestleMania match. Now, most people are assuming that he will retire at WrestleMania, like WrestleMania in 2025 will be his last match, because it makes sense that he retires at WrestleMania. I mean, it doesn't really make sense for him to retire at any other event other than Mania, but he said the year 2025, so that gives him a full, you know, he technically has the full calendar year of 2025 to have his last match. And another reason I say this is because from the way he's, you know, talking about this and the way he worded it, they're really pushing this idea of like a farewell tour, and really pushing the idea that Cena's going to basically be wrestling a full schedule in the lead up to his retirement, saying he'll be at the Royal Rumble, he'll be at Elimination Chamber, he'll be at WrestleMania. So we can expect him to appear at basically every pay-per-view in 2025 up to WrestleMania, and potentially even just every pay-per-view in 2025. So now the big question is, who retires him? Who is John Cena's last match against? And do they just go ahead and have him retire at WrestleMania, or do they have him go the whole year? And, you know, I feel like that decision's more up to Cena than anyone else. He put this date on himself, WWE didn't. And he gave himself, you know, he didn't say that WrestleMania will be his last match. He just said that next year's WrestleMania will be his last WrestleMania match. He will not compete at WrestleMania after next year's. So that still leaves several pay-per-views after that that he could compete at. I mean, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, what have you. So we'll see where they go with this, and we'll see how long he wants to hold on in 2025. But, you know, this is still pretty significant to actually have a confirmed date of when John Cena will retire, coming from John Cena himself. So that was what everyone was really talking about coming out of Money in the Bank. But in addition to that, there seemed to be, I don't know, there was a pretty negative response to Money in the Bank, and I don't know if it was just solely because of the whole Drew McIntyre thing, or if other things, played into it. But people were just seemed to be very upset with Money in the Bank as a whole. Oh, no, you don't. Get out of here. Get out of your hole. And I dare almost say that Money in the Bank might have been the first, blunder of the Triple H era. I mean, most of the events people have gone home, more than happy, and, even if, it wasn't the result they wanted, they were very willing to go along with where, WWE was going with whatever storyline or angle they were going with. This seemed to be the first one where people were like, no, you can't, this was just disappointing. Now again, I think this was more just the Money in the Bank briefcase thing as a whole, not the pay-per-view as a whole, but just like the Drew McIntyre CM Punk thing. I think people are mostly disappointed by that, but I don't know, I thought the event was alright. Weren't really any bad matches, just some questionable outcomes. Moving on to Raw, Jey Uso beat Chad Gable. Afterwards, Nikki Cross came out, scared off Chad Gable, and delivered another VHS tape. Bronson Reed beat Pete Dunne. Sheamus came out to chase off Reed and teased a reunion with Pete Dunne. Damian Priest, JD McDonough, and Carlito beat Braun Strowman, R-Truth, and The Miz in a 6-man tag. We had another Bo Dallas promo with Uncle Howdy. This then led to a backstage segment where Adam Pearce went into his office to find Bo Dallas waiting for him. We don't really know what happened after that, but I think this is the first time we've actually seen Bo Dallas, appear on camera after the Wyatt 6 debut. That wasn't like a VHS tape, like he was actually in the building. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with this and whatever deal or conversation he has with Adam Pearce. Braun Breaker faced Dragunov. Braun ended up throwing a chair at Dragunov, causing a disqualification. Afterwards, Sami Zayn ran down to prevent the beatdown. Braun then took out Sami Zayn to close out the segment. Again, continuing their feud for the Intercontinental Championship. Damage Control beat Katana Chance, Kaden Carter, and Lyra Valkyria. Afterwards, Zoe Stark, Shayna Baszler, and Sonya Deville came out and took out Damage Control, introducing a new women's faction into WWE. Oh no. Aha. Gotcha. Uh-oh. Oh no. No. Ow. Oh no. Hey, give me your eyes. Oh, I thought I was gonna break his eyes. Oop. Away you go. In the main event, Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan beat Rey Mysterio and Zelina Vega, but the celebration was short-lived as Rhea Ripley made her return, scared off Liv Morgan, chasing her off, and confronting Dominic in the ring, after he's been getting very close to Liv Morgan these past few weeks, and now it seems to be very willingly, and almost like he's the one who's, what's the term? Inciting it? Instigating it? That's the term. So yeah, that was a surprise. I don't think really anyone saw it coming. I think more people probably assumed her to return at Money in the Bank somehow. But nope, she's back. Mommy is back. So yeah, she came back, and now we'll have to see where this goes. But SummerSlam's looking to be real fun. I mean, it's basically, you can assume where this is going. It's going to be Liv versus Rhea for the title at SummerSlam. Now we'll have to see how much Dominic gets involved in that, if, he's part of that match, or if there's a stipulation surrounding him or what. We'll have to see where his allegiance lies, whether it's with Liv or with Rhea. Moving on to SmackDown, Nia Jax beat Mia Yim. Afterwards, Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton attacked Mia and Bayley. Tiffany Stratton then seemed like she was about to cash in on Bayley while Nia had her back turned, but Nia caught her and basically confronted her about it, like, what are you doing? And Tiffany tried to, you know, brush it off and be like, oh no, I wasn't doing anything, but Nia clearly doesn't trust her completely. So that's again another interesting thing to see where this goes. You know, Stratton and Nia obviously have some sort of allegiance, but now they're both in some way number one contenders for the women's title. You know, Nia's going to be challenging Bayley at SummerSlam because she won Queen of the Ring, and then, you know, you got Stratton, who's able to challenge whenever she wants. So we could see Tiffany, you know, cash in at SummerSlam either on Bayley or on Nia, depending on who wins. Or, you know, during the match and steal the victory from Nia, which then leads to a feud. So again, like I said before, a lot of things are really coming together for SummerSlam. It'll be really interesting to see where they go with a lot of these, because there's so many options for a lot of them. Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza beat Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin thanks to some interference from Santos Escobar. There were a few botches in this match that were very noticeable. Most notable was like a slingshot neckbreaker cutter from, I think it was Humberto, that he basically never hooked the head, so he just basically did a back body drop over the ropes. I usually don't point that stuff out, but this one was just very obvious. LA Knight announced a US title match between himself and Logan Paul at SummerSlam, basically saying it's confirmed. Now they're just waiting on Paul to sign the contract. So hopefully that means that LA Knight's going to get his first title win in WWE. His first real, or at least on the main roster. I know he was technically $1 Million champion, but that's not a real title. Naomi beat Blair Davenport, and then was attacked by Blair Davenport backstage afterwards, after Blair feigned respect, and my dog's whining. What? You came into here. I don't know if you guys can hear her. Hashtag DIY beat Grayson Waller and Austin Theory to retain the WWE Tag Team Championships. The match itself was pretty short. I feel like they should have been given, you know, twice as long as they were. I mean, the match itself, like, from what you saw, was only about 5 minutes, because most of it was fought over a commercial break. So, you know, it felt kind of weird that the rematch happened so quickly, especially with SummerSlam, you know, right around the corner. I feel like they could have just saved it there and, you know, given it the appropriate time it deserved. But probably part of the reason they did that is because of the next segment, which began with Jacob Fatu running down, attacking Austin Theory and both members of DIY, which led to the Bloodline coming out. This then led to Cody coming out and confronting the Bloodline, which led to them beating the crap out of him. Randy Orton then came out to try to make the save, but he was also beaten down by the Bloodline. And the show ended with the Bloodline putting Randy Orton through the announce table, similar to what they did to Paul Heyman a couple weeks ago. All while Cody Rhodes watched. It should also be mentioned that Cody basically announced that he will be facing Solo Sikoa at SummerSlam for the Undisputed title. So we've basically got every match set up for SummerSlam. I mean, it's already a full card. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to try to wrap this up quick. Let me know in the comments below what you guys saw of Money in the Bank. Was it disappointing to you, or did you think the show was fine? What are your thoughts on the outcomes for a lot of these SummerSlam matches, and kind of what direction you think they're going to go in with a lot of these? Because a lot of them feel really up in the air and genuinely unpredictable in where they're going to go. Leave those in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed. I got to take my dog out. Guy01 and Sami Zayn signing out. Bye, guys.